Western Conference standings predictions for this upcoming season. It's technically more like a playoff prediction because it is just going to be the top 8 seeds in the conferences, but I guess it's just a standing one as well because we're not going to be going in detail about the playoffs, just where I think teams next year are going to place. So, with that being said, yesterday I did post a video. If you didn't know, I'm posting every day in December. We were talking about the most important game, or a game scheduled, or not, a game circled on every team's schedule this upcoming season. That was really cool. We talked about major matchups, beefs, rivalries, things like that. So the most important games about every single team in the NBA. So if you haven't watched that video, make sure you go check it out. We are almost at 5K subs. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And yeah, I think that's all I really have to say. So let's smash that like button and get right to tonight's video. Also, if you guys didn't see, I purchased a PS5. Yes, your boy ASMballeR bought a PS5, and definitely hurts the budget, but I did it for you guys. I saved up a lot of my money that I made from YouTube and stuff like that to get this for you guys, for us. I guess mostly for me, but for us, I want to make more content, more gaming content, because there's a lot of you guys out there who love the Battlefront 2 videos, the Overwatch videos, the other random gameplay videos. Getting this PS5 will be able to help me out so much, and if you guys want to help and contribute to getting games, obviously help, me with the PS5 purchase that I made. It comes in January, so I have a email, my business email. You can email me there if you want a personal video. I think they usually start around $5 for a normal ASMR video, or if you want to go role play, gameplay videos, talking about your favorite teams, your favorite players, anything literally related to ASMR I can do for you guys. Definitely give me an email down below. It's right there. And just email me. We can talk it through. Also, I have a Venmo and Cashapp you guys can give out. Just whatever you guys want to do. If you even just, watch the ads on my videos, watch my videos, sub, like, anything. If you're just here right now, that's enough of a contribution. So thank you guys so much. If you want to go above and beyond, I just named off a couple things you can do. Thank you guys so much. And yeah, I'm very excited for the PS5. I'm surprised I got one. I'm very lucky, very blessed. So hopefully you guys can enjoy some content when it comes. So as you can see, I'm basically combining both of the East and West on one paper. We're not going to be doing 2 videos like I usually do. I think I did last year, but this year I'm just going to do both at one time. I know you guys like doing those ones a lot more than the 2 separate videos and waiting. You guys are pretty impatient, but we're just going to be talking about the top 8 of the standings for East and West this upcoming season. Now, these are just predictions. These are fun. My opinion doesn't matter. My opinion isn't set in stone. I'm not ESPN. I don't get paid big bucks for this. I'm just doing this for fun, entertainment, relaxation. So, with that being said, I will be doing the 8th seed for both the West and the East right now. I gotta make sure I leave a lot of room for the rest of the guys on this list. I'm just going to be doing them both at the same time and talking about them basically at the same time, because obviously there's a lot of teams we're going to be going through. And at the 8th seed for the West, I actually have a team that obviously was very good last year, and I think they also make a very nice jump this year in the NBA. Well, they were, I think, the 10th seed last year. We'll get more into detail about them later, but I have the New Orleans Pelicans as the 8th seed for next year. The Pelicans, I think last year ended pretty high up in the standings. Let's check. I think they were the 10th seed, right? Oh god, they were 13th, but separated by, 4 games from the 9th seed and 5 games from the 8th seed, so they were pretty close compared to, some other teams, but that's also because in the bubble, man, the bubble play that they had was very bad. I don't know what happened to the Pelicans during the bubble, but it was definitely not the Pelicans I think we'll see next year, especially with another year in. Zion Williamson, you have Brandon Ingram, who's looking like, this guy's looking like another, all-star this upcoming season. I hope he just gets better. I'm really hoping and praying for Alonzo Ball making that jump finally to the 8th seed. 8th seed for the Eastern Conference. I have a team who made a lot of big changes. Well, the biggest change you could make, trading away one of your best players. And that is the Washington Wizards as the 8th seed for next year. Washington Wizards as the 8th seed next year. The Wizards, as you guys may want to clown and be like, oh, the Wizards, blah, 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 they haven't been good for a while. They were the 9th seed last year. Although it was a big gap from the 8th seed, they were still the next team in the East to potentially make the playoffs. And now that they finally have a co-star to play alongside, well, not even a co-star, a star to play alongside Bradley Beal with Russell Westbrook, that's going to be an amazing backcourt, one of the best in the league. I feel like it's going to get a lot of attention and actually be a very capable combo. Then you have the additions of the rookie Denny, who looked really well in the preseason games that I watched. He even went perfect for one game, which was pretty cool. And Thomas Bryant. You also have Drew Brown Jr., Rui Hachimura, another year in, very, very, very respected player. I like the team. It's not crazy, not a crazy team, but definitely a team that I think can sneak into the 8th spot or the playoffs next year. Now going on to the 7th seed. Hopefully again I make room for everyone else. 7th seed, definitely not a big jump in talent on either side, in my opinion. But I have here for the Western Conference, the 7th seed might be a team that you guys may say, oh my god, you're only giving them the 7th seed, they can do this, they can do that. This team is still a super young team that has a lot of adjustments to do. Never have really won in their franchise history in a very long time. But I have the Phoenix Suns as the 7th seed. Now I know what you're thinking, ASMballeR, they have Chris Paul, Booker, Ayton, they have a deeper bench than they had last year. But you guys need to remember this team is still A, in their first year, B, not that crazy deep with good talent. They have role players, yeah, but nothing too crazy. But this team was also, just so young, and it's going to take them a while to get readjusted. Now, can Chris Paul accelerate that like he did with the Thunder? I think yes, but the Thunder, we all know, have been in playoff runs and things like that for a very, very long time. Even, the new players they got with Danilo Gallinari and Shea, those guys are playoff guys. The Clippers made the playoffs the year before, so I think with the Suns, they can be higher up on this list. This is just a safe spot for the Suns. This is like, if they did pretty bad, then yeah, I think 7th seed is pretty where they could lie up. They also ended the year last year as the 10th seed, which was, technically a game back from the 8th seed, so they were very close to making the playoffs last year, obviously going 8-0 in the bubble, but bubble games, a lot of teams were sitting out their best players, resting for the playoffs, so you can't really say it a whole lot, but they played very good talent, they played very good games. Devin Booker went off, and I think that justifies it for making a playoff spot next year. Next up, the 7th seed for the Eastern Conference is a team that I almost left off my list because I am so sure this team is trading away players in the season. And, man, I think it's very possible, but I still can't doubt the Indiana Pacers because it's not like they lost any players, they just lost confidence, in my opinion. So they still have TJ, still have Victor, still have Sabonis, still have Miles Turner, still have Malcolm Brogdon, they still have Jeremy Lamb, they still have all of their key guys. I always think that they always lost a bunch of people, but that was just all rumors, and none of them left. So if they can just hunker down, forget about the rumors, everything like that, Victor Oladipo can get back to his business. We have increased play of Miles Turner and Sabonis, the young guys. Malcolm Brogdon is such a good two-way player. I still believe the Pacers can make the playoffs this year, but if they do not hunker down, they will be out, and there will be another team that we will talk about later who will make it in. It's up between those two teams. I almost picked the other team because I have a lot of confidence in them, but they're still super young, and we'll have to see what happens with them. Number six. I have to make these Jazz. I really like Utah. They're very top heavy with Donovan Mitchell and Defense Player of the Year candidate every year, Rudy Gobert. Their relationship seems fine. They look like they can play very well together, and I just very much hope that they can get it done this year. But the Jazz didn't really make any improvements than they did last year. They are healthier now, obviously, with having gonna have Mike Conley Jr. like they didn't have for some of the playoff. I don't think they played a couple games with Mike Conley, and also Bojan Bogdanovic, who was hurt or didn't play during the bubble play and the playoffs. So I think getting them both back will be very important. You still kept Jordan Clarkson, who's obviously one of the best six-man in the league, and I think will be very important to the scoring that the Jazz desperately need. But obviously with the increased play of Donovan Mitchell that we saw in the playoffs, if you can carry that over to this next upcoming season, you'll be an all-star candidate. You'll be a great player next year, in my opinion. And I think they'll have enough to get the 6th seed. They could definitely be higher, but this is, again, just more of like a base sort of worst-case scenario for the Utah Jazz. For the 6th seed for the the East, it's not the Heat, it's actually the Toronto Raptors. And that might be kind of low for the East, but obviously the Raptors lost some players during free agency, and they didn't really improve anywhere. They didn't get anyone. They just re-signed Fred and lost some players. So I like Toronto. I still obviously will pick them to make the playoffs. I'll still pick them to be, a contender to come out of the East. They're still such a good, well-coached team who's still, deep enough compared to a lot of these other teams we talked about earlier. They're championship tested, championship DNA. You got Lowry, you got Siakam. They're not bad. So this spot is just very, regular season sort of thing. If you want to talk about playoff matchups and things like that, then that gets really interesting and favorable for the Raptors. But for the regular season, I'm putting them in the 6th spot. Nothing too crazy. I think last year they were the 2nd seed. Yeah, they were the 2nd seed the year prior. But again, I think this is finally the year we start seeing the dip of the Raptors and seeing that they need more talent. And I like Lowry, but I think Siakam and another player would be more favorable. So that's just my opinion. But I do like the Raptors, and in the playoff series, you better watch out. Now we have the 5th seed. The 5th seed for both conferences. And for the 5th seed are two very capable teams. Again, this is just standings for regular season, not what I think will happen during the playoffs. But for the West, I have here the Portland Trail Blazers. Now, this might be a little low for them, but again, like all these other teams, I'm thinking of like worst case scenario. Maybe not the Pelicans. I think Pelicans may be over exceeding here. Wizards as well. But for the worst case scenario for the Blazers, I think they're still a very decent playoff team. Now, I'm knocking on wood so much for this team because the worst case scenario for the Blazers can be very bad. And last year there were a lot of injuries. This year it could definitely happen, but the depth added for the Blazers, I think you'll be able to, counteract sort of the downfalls that happen. I like the pickups. Their defense is going to be better. They lost Hassan Whiteside, but they picked up Enes Kanter. Yusuf Nurkic is going to be playing the entire, regular season this year, which is not what happened last year. Rodney Hood is back as well, so you got the new Portland Trail Blazers with pretty much the same roster as last year with added depth, which is awesome. So Blazers are going to look good. I think they're obviously going to be more focused on the playoffs like a lot of other these top tier teams. So I'm not going to be able to count them out as, a top 4 seed, top, team in the West, but they're still very capable. And I never like to sort of get too high on Portland because Portland plays their best when they're underdogs. So I'm going to keep them as underdogs. 5th seed, not bad, middle of the pack. For the East, I have here the Philadelphia 76ers. And this is mostly preying on, again, the, play of Ben Simmons and hopefully him being able to finally be able to make that jump to, top player in the NBA that we all know he can be. He almost made ESPN's top 10 list for, players next year. And I very much do believe he can do that. Obviously, adding a jump shot, being a smarter player, he already has amazing defense, and if he can just add a little bit more offense to his game, he can be, top tier, top tier, top tier. Obviously with Joel Embiid, health, if Joel Embiid can stay healthy, knocking on wood, then obviously this team can be almost nearly unstoppable if this team finally plays together. Please, please, please play together like we know you guys can. This team can definitely easily be a title contender. This might be the first true title contender we're talking about on this list right now. Maybe even the Raptors do, but I really like the Philadelphia 76ers chances. Also added 3-point shooting as well. So we have the 4th seed now for both conferences. These are apparently the top tier teams for each conference. Obviously, guys winning home court advantage. But we are going to be talking about the West first, and that is going to be the Denver Nuggets. Denver Nuggets. I love the Nuggets during the regular season. I actually picked them to have the number 1 seed last year, which might have been a little bit too overconfident of them. They had, let's see what they had. They had the 3rd seed the prior year, about 4, 5, 6. They had 7 games back from the Lakers from the number 1 seed, which isn't too bad of a guess. But Denver is going to look really good again this year. I think these other couple teams are going to be very talented as well, and going to be pushing their luck and trying very hard to sort of get that number 1 seed. I don't think the Nuggets really care. I think they're going to be very good this year, and they did lose a lot of depth, and their bench is looking a lot different than it did last year. I know they're adding Bobo. I know they still have Will Barton / Michael Porter Jr. at the 3 spots, so their forwards are looking good. They have Bobo off the bench. Other than that, I mean, they have Monte Morris. That's okay, so it's nothing super crazy. The depth isn't really there anymore, but obviously the play of Jamal Murray is what is really going to push this team to over the top if they can get it there. And obviously the play of Michael Porter Jr., being the 3rd option. Can he finally be that 3rd option guy that they desperately need? I think yes, and in the playoffs, it's going to show. Now, for the 4th seed for the East, you have the reigning and defending Eastern Conference champions, the Miami Heat. Again, this might be kind of low for the Heat, but again, last year the Heat weren't even that good of a regular season team, but in the playoffs, they played well, and I think that's going to be the same case scenario for the Heat this upcoming season. I absolutely love the play of Bam and Jimmy. Thank God that Bam signed that extension, because that's really cool. I'm super excited to see, Mr. Hype Man himself, Tyler Hero, start playing again. Duncan Robinson, Kendrick Nunn, sorry, I always want to say Chris Dunn. Kendrick Nunn, and they're going to look really good. So, losing Jay Crowder is going to hurt a lot, so I'm not going to put him up super high, but I think 4th seed is going to be really good for the Heat, and we all know the Heat. It don't matter where they play, where they sit, they can beat any team in the Eastern Conference this year. That's a very dangerous spot for the Miami Heat for sure. And I think just the added play that Jimmy Butler's going to have, knowing the confidence this dude has now, finding the respect he deserves, is going to be really good to see. Now we're on to the 3rd seed. And for the 3rd seed, we are going to be talking about 2 very good teams. And this, in my opinion, is a team with the biggest jump, the biggest improvement, and potentially MVP and Coach of the Year. And that is the Dallas Mavericks. I'm just going to put Mavs. Luka, in my opinion, is going to show off this year. They added a lot of good acquisitions to their team. They have a healthier team now with Kristaps Porzingis, and I think his name is Jordan Powell. It's Powell. I think his last name is Powell. Their forward / center last year was hurt. He's going to come back and play very well. This team is hyped up and vamped up to make a very good run in the regular season this year. Now, if we're talking about the playoffs, I think that's a totally different story. Again, very young team and very inexperienced with the new guys. Obviously, the Mavs as a franchise are very experienced. They are not. So, in the playoffs, they might struggle, but in the regular season, they're going to dominate. Luka, like I just said, potential MVP, going to be averaging nearly 30, triple-double type numbers. And Kristaps Porzingis, I'm hoping, is going to be able to help him out a lot during that play. Could you switch these 2 guys around? I think next season is going to be very interesting to see. I don't think they have enough talent to take that #1 seed, like, confidently wise. Me saying that, I can't say that, but I think top 4 is very, very easy to say. 3 for the East. We have a very deep and loaded, Brooklyn Nets team. I like Brooklyn as being a top 4 seed this upcoming season because they are so deep. They have 2 very good guys who either of them can win 6th Man of the Year with Karis LeVert and Spencer Dinwiddie. You have obviously the man, the myth, the absolute legend, Kevin Durant coming back with a healthy Kyrie Irving. That in itself can get you a top 4 seed in the Eastern Conference. So I think they're very safe to be top 4. I think 3 in the middle of the pack of the top 4 is very good. They're not going to be chasing the #1 seed, because they don't need it. They're not going to be bottom of the barrel because they're so deep with, Jared Allen and Spencer Dinwiddie / Karis LeVert coming off the bench. I don't know which one is going to. They also have DeAndre Jordan. Obviously, they kept Joe Harris. So they're looking really good, and I'm very excited to see what happens with them this upcoming season. Again, this is more of like not the worst case scenario. I think the worst case scenario will be like a 4th or 5th seed because they don't need home court advantage to be a dominant team. They have one of the best players in the league with Kevin Durant plus Kyrie Irving, and they're not going to be chasing the #1 record. So I don't think it really matters to them. I think 3 is a very safe spot. Okay. We have number 2. Number two. And for the West, we have, obviously, a team that's going to be very hungry this year, a team that's going to be having a lot to prove, and a team that's going to be very, very, very interesting to watch. And that are the LA Clippers. I think the Clippers are going to be super scary to play this year. They got dogged and clowned and made fun of the entire offseason for how their best players played, their franchise did, firing their coach, how confident they were and cocky they were the entire year, and then lost in the second round. They remember that. They're going to come together. They're going to be a very scary team to play. So I don't think they're going to get the 1 seed because I don't think they really care. In the playoffs, please watch out for the LA Clippers because they finally have a chip on the shoulder that actually makes sense. And Kawhi, they still have Kawhi, they still have Paul George, they still have Serge Ibaka replacing Montrezl Harrell. They did, Lou Will is not really the player he used to be, but they added Luke Kennard, another really good scorer, so that team is still really good. They added Nicholas Batum, who people forget is a great 2-way player who can do it all. Terrifying team. So watch out for you Clipper fans. I think you guys are definitely one of the next ones up for sure. And then in the East, we have here the Boston Celtics. The Celtics, I'm very excited about this upcoming season. I hope and pray they make some more acquisitions. They need more depth. They need a starting center. I love Tristan Thompson, but these both are guys who are like 6'8", 6'7", playing center. I hate that. The Celtics need a true center, even if it's just some rando off a G League team. They need a true big-time center. Can it be Taco? Let's hope and pray. But I like the Celtics. The Celtics are always a really good regular season team. I think they were the 3rd seed last year, were they not? Yeah, 3rd seed last year. Couple games behind Toronto for that 2nd seed. So I think obviously with continuing his potential with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, those guys are always getting better every year. You still have Kemba Walker. You added more, more experience to play with Tristan Thompson, who obviously won a championship with LeBron James. So that's not totally bad. I really like the Celtics this year. Very scary. Could come out of the East. We'll talk about that in another video when we talk about the playoffs and stuff. But the one seed, in my opinion, for both conferences this next year are going to be teams that we're not going to be talking about right now. We're going to be talking about the honorable mentions. So honorable mentions include the 9th seed and the 10th seed for playing spots for the play-in, for the playoffs. These are just regular season standings. Now the 9th seed and the 10th seed will face off against the 8th seed and the 7th seed for a playoff spot. In my opinion, I have the Hawks as the 9th seed for the East and the Magic as the 10th seed. So you'd have a matchup of the Magic and the Pacers, Hawks, Wizards. I'm not going to say who wins because that might be, again, a playoff video, but Memphis Grizzlies, obviously, as the 9th seed. I think they're still very close. But Jaren and Ja are very good, but so are Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson. But the Pelicans also have Steven Adams, Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, Jackson Hayes. Like, that team is looking really good, really deep. I do like the play of the Memphis Grizzlies, but Dylan Brooks is good. Valanciunas is good, but I think the additions that the Pelicans made with, again, Bledsoe, Adams, this, that, and the other, I think they're just a little bit ahead of the Memphis Grizzlies, barely. But the Grizzlies are still a team, as a 9th seed, can definitely play a play-in game against the Pelicans and beat them. Then as a 10th seed, I have the Minnesota Timberwolves as the 10th seed. I don't think that's a bad pick. I think that could be where they end up. Maybe some honorable mentions would be, the Houston Rockets, but dude, I think the Rockets are, I don't know what they're going to be doing this year with James Harden. I think the chemistry is all off and gone. Actually, if they keep James Harden, I'm going to say the Rockets make a play-in spot, whether it's 9th or 10th. I think just having James Harden is enough. As the 1 seed on the West, we have, oh, why did I do this? I don't know. I didn't even realize I had this in my hand. We have the LA Lakers as the 1 seed. Lakers, LeBron, Anthony Davis added more depth to their team with Dennis Schroeder and Montrezl Harrell, Wesley Matthews as well, Marcus Gasol as well. The team's looking really nice. They still have their main core group of guys. The coaching staff is all amazing. Sure, is LeBron and AD not going to play extremely well? Trying their best every single game? I think no. Is LeBron going for the MVP again, like he did last year? No. But I think they actually still have enough talent on their team to be the number 1 seed. Plus, again, it's just a safe pick. I mean, can the Clippers be? Absolutely. Can the Mavericks be? Absolutely. Can the Nuggets be? Absolutely. I think these top 4 guys you can switch around very easily. Then you add the Blazers in the mix for maybe a 3 or 4 seed. I think yes. I think any of these 5 teams could be very switchable. But the Lakers are just the safe option for number 1. Obviously, having the best player in the league, in my opinion, LeBron, with Anthony Davis, who's always getting better every year. I think it's a very safe pick. And then for the 1 seed for the East, you guys can probably already tell, it is the team that just finally re-signed Giannis to a fatty 5-year contract. The Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks are not the team they were last year. They lost depth, but are still having the 2-time MVP on their team. A guy who's going to be in the MVP conversation again this year. Adding Drew Holiday with Chris Middleton, keeping Brook Lopez. The team is still good. The team is still deep. Amazing coaching. That team's going to look very good this year. So, this, in my opinion, are the top 8 teams for, the regular season standings. Now, if you guys want a playoff video or something like that, I can get more into that in a different video. Then we had the 9th seed and 10th seed I talked about earlier with the Rockets / Memphis, and then we had the Magic / Hawks for the play-in spots. I think that's it. I think we talked about everything. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys liked the video, make sure you like the video. Hopefully this was relaxing, entertaining, or whatever it was for you. Make sure you guys check